If you're avoiding dairy and gluten, there's no reason at all that you can't still enjoy a delicious lasagna. I'm going to start by browning off some mince. I'm going to cook my meat in batches, so I'm just going to put half of it into the pan now. And while that's cooking, I'm just going to prepare my vegetables. I've got a couple of sticks of celery and a nice large onion. We're going for just under 1 centimetre in width. And we want roughly the same size for the onion. We're just going to cut along the natural lines of the onion. So going towards the root as close as you can, but not all the way through it. And then just one horizontal slice. And if you've got a very large onion like this, you might want to do a second one towards the top. And that will just help us to get more evenly sized pieces. And we want even sized pieces, just so the celery and onion roughly cook together at the same time. We'll give those a good stir. And let's give the meat a stir too. I'm just going to quickly chop some garlic cloves. And now the meat's really nicely browned, so I'm going to add that in. And let's get the rest of the mince into that hot pan. And make sure the heat's really nice and hot. And if we need to do this in batches, because if you do it all together in one go, it'll just all start to sweat together and you won't get that lovely browning and that flavour. Back to our main pan. To that now I'm going to add some stock. I've got beef stock here. In that goes. A good squeeze of tomato puree. 2 cans of chopped tomatoes and some fresh thyme. And just give that a stir together. The meat is really nicely browned, so I'm just going to add the second batch into our pan. Now give it a good stir, bring it to a simmer and then pop the lid on and cook very gently, about 1.5 hours until it's really rich and tender. The ragu has cooked down nicely and it's nearly ready, so it's time to make the rest of the dish. Now I've got some courgettes here that I've sliced lengthways and I'm just going to season them. I've got some crushed garlic, I'm going to add some oil and some fresh thyme leaves and a good grinding of black pepper. And then I'm just going to use a brush to spread this all over the courgettes. These need to go into a good hot oven for 20 minutes until they're tender and a little bit golden. And now I'm going to make the white sauce. I've got 2 pans on the go here, just warming gently. I'm going to be using some unsweetened almond drink. I'm going to pop that into the first pan and just get that gently warming. And in the second pan, I'm going to be using some olive spread. I've got some gluten-free flour I'm going to use to thicken the sauce. And then cook it gently. And you want to stir continuously until it forms a paste. And we're just going to cook for a minute or 2 just to take away that raw flavour from the flour. My mixture's ready now, so I'm just going to slowly start adding the almond drink. Gradually stir the liquid a little bit at a time, beating with a wooden spoon so you get a nice, smooth, thick sauce. Then to flavour it, I'm going to add a little bit of Dijon mustard and a grating of nutmeg. Now the courgettes are tender and golden, so now we're ready to assemble our dish. Now I'm going to spoon about 1/3 of the ragu into the base of my dish. Next, we're going to add some of those courgettes. Now I'm using these gluten-free lasagna sheets and I've blanched them in boiling water for a few minutes and they're quite pliable. I'm just going to arrange those on top. Just break the pieces as you need to, just to make an even covering. And then white sauce. And continue to layer up, finishing with the lasagna sheets covered with the white sauce. This needs to go now for about 15 minutes. While that's baking, I'm going to make a lovely crispy crumb to go on the top. I've got some gluten-free bread here. It's about 50 grams. Just tear it into small pieces. Got a nice plump clove of garlic. Very, very roughly chop that with a little bit more fresh thyme. I'm just going to moisten it with a little bit of olive oil. That'll help it to go golden and crunchy. And once the lasagna is halfway through its cooking time, I'm going to sprinkle these crumbs over the top. We've turned it to the oven for about 20 minutes or so until the topping is golden and it's piping hot throughout. Then it's ready to serve. And for more lovely recipes, don't forget to click to subscribe.